Hi everyone, it's a beautiful day today and I wanted to take a little bit of time to walk you around the garden and show you what's in bloom. It's supposed to get up into the 90s, so while everything is looking so fresh and pretty right now, like this beautiful Venus dogwood, I just wanted to walk around and show you before the blooms start to fade on this one. This is my absolute favorite tree, and I think you can see why. It's just gorgeous, these huge white blooms, and it's never bloomed this profusely before. I'm really excited about it. And what's nice about this variety is these come into bloom here in New Jersey, Zone 7A, after many of the other spring dogwoods have already fizzled out, so it's really nice. I'm gonna walk you to the back and show you some progress updates from what I've been working on, and then I'll bring you back up here onto the porch and show you some of the containers and things I've been working on. So welcome to the back vegetable garden and some of the updates that I have been making. This is a Claire Austin rose. It's not in bloom as you can see, but about to. Beautiful white blooms. And I am excited to see this one grow this year. I planted it last year. So the last time I showed you guys around back here, I just had completed this side with the boxwood and started to tell you about my plans to make a match on this side. So I have all the little baby boxwoods. These are sprinters, all planted. And you can see I have a lot of plants that I have to get in the ground. And I kind of have them collected here so I can easily water them and keep them happy while I plant them. Some geraniums and pincushion flowers. This is thrift that I love, that's a perennial. And a lot of the things that I sowed from seed, I need to get out. You can see that they're still in trays and they're not too happy about that. I've got some roses. These are David Austin roses that I will be planting very soon in this area. But I am really happy, you guys. I just love seeing that true path here, and I can really just see it all coming together and the vision that I had really starting to come alive. I feel like last year I worked on that part and got it really kind of how I wanted it to look. And then I did the espalier apples along the fence, and that really tied in the look that I was hoping to achieve. And now I feel like I'm really working a lot on this area, and it's making me really happy the way things are coming together. My husband Mark, as I mentioned, built me this tutor, and I have my sweet peas planted all along the base. And this is Midnight Phlox, which is a beautiful plant that grows little petite white blooms that are really beautifully scented in the evening. It's the first time I've planted this, and I am really looking forward to it. I have cloches everywhere. They look cute, but they really are protecting from the bunnies right now. There's a lot of activity going on in the garden at the moment. as you'll see once we get in the back, I'll show you. So you'll see there's still a ton of work here to do. I have to reconfigure all of my drip irrigation. I did turn it on myself the other day instead of calling our technician, which I was pretty happy about. I saved $100 doing that. De-winterizing is another story altogether. They have an air compressor that blows the water out of the lines, and I'm not at that level yet, but I might attempt that at some point. I was very proud of myself. So anyway, you can see I'm really starting to change the entire look here. I'm gonna have an urn here on a pedestal in front of the roses. So these are Benjamin Britten climbing roses. They look heavenly right now. This is the best they've ever looked. And I attribute that in part to the fact that I had a massive mock orange in here that was shading the roses. And now that they're getting more sun, they are really, really happy. So my ultimate plan for them is to have them trail off this way, and I will train them under, a canopy over the window in the window box here. And the same on this side, just really train them all along the wall of the house here. I think it would be so beautiful. So that is the plan. They're happy and I'm happy. So let me show you a little bit closer up. So this is a bloom that's starting to fade here. And they are just these beautiful, rich, oh, the smell is so wonderful. So old-fashioned. And I just put some poppies in this pot, which I'm afraid that 90-degree temperatures might make them very unhappy, but we'll see. That was from winter sowing, where I put threw the seeds right on the snow, like our friend Erin at the Impatient Gardener does. So I was very happy to see those come up. I've never grown poppies before. And then in the strawberry pot here, I have some strawberries, and I have one petunia in the top, and then some endless summer hydrangeas that are looking lovely. I'm sorry if I'm talking so fast. I'm really just trying to show you guys everything. This is a Brother Stephan clematis that is just looking spectacular right now and putting on a beautiful display. Green Mountain boxwood standard that I got at Lowe's last year. I have some salvia here that I've had for, oh gosh, 15 years in that same exact pot. It amazes me. It comes back every year. Just a little herb planter here with some chives and some English thyme, some dill, and some parsley. I'm loving the look of that right now. It smells so good. And then my fig is looking great, but it is struggling a little bit with its fruit. I had some birds come in and wipe some out, and then I had a cold snap that, as you can see, did that to some of the figs. So there's not a whole lot of fig action going on right now. There's a couple that look okay, but it had 36 figs on here, and now there's not that many. So for future years, I will protect it better from those initial frosts. And I know you can buy little net bags and things like that to protect the fruit from the birds and squirrels. So I'll probably do that next year. Every day. That's the great thing about gardening. You can always learn something new. And let me show you this. How excited am I? Super excited. Look, you guys, I have baby apples. I'm telling you, I am just over the moon excited. I don't have words to express my excitement. You expect apples to grow from an apple tree. I don't expect anything. And then I am pleasantly surprised always when something happens. So yeah, if I can keep these safe from the pesky squirrels, that would be great. I did sprinkle some repels all along the top of the fence and all along the top canopy of the trees here. And they're just looking so wonderful. I am thrilled with the way they look. And the cabling system has worked out great. The tension wire that we installed, it just looks fabulous. I could not be happier. And I just have a big mix of things here. I get a lot of questions about the rhubarb forcers. Those were made by my friend Peter at Wakefield Handmade. I love him, you guys. He is my favorite. And this is not sponsored, but he's kind enough to offer a discount of 10% using How's It Growing to my followers and subscribers, because he is awesome and he has a great pre-sale going on right now for June. So wakefieldhandmade.com if you did want to check it out. All of his pots, these beautiful bell jars are up there, and I just absolutely love them. I think they're gorgeous. And guess what? I do have some rhubarb in it. Don't laugh at me. These are little teeny tiny nothing little rhubarb that I planted from seed. So they're very tiny, but they're in there. It actually, the rhubarb forcer actually has rhubarb in it, so that's nice. And let's talk about excitement for a second. So I grew these Frizzle Sizzle pansies from seed, and you can see I have them protected and on lockdown. Nothing is getting at my precious pansies. But I've never grown pansies from seed, and to see something like this come up, you know, from that little seed that you put in that little cell under the grow lights, in the winter time is just amazing. I am loving it. So I will try and certainly protect these and keep them not eaten and shade them when those temperatures get up to 90, which is going to happen by the end of this week. I'm not ready for 90s, you guys. I'm not ever ready for 90s. Give me 60s and 70s and I'm happy. These planters with the basket weave are from Haddon Stone. Absolutely love them. I feel like I finally have kind of a permanent look and style here that I can, instead of changing and rearranging, I can start to maintain things, which is really a really good feeling. I don't mind changing things, but I don't want to change things forever. I want some things to be comfortable and reliable, and yeah. So in this bed here, I just have some beautiful cabbages, which are also not going to love the heat. Beautiful cabbages. I did not grow them from seed. I bought them as tiny little cabbages. And then some pansies, not grown from seed. And it doesn't matter. Grow it from seed, grow it from starts. It's all good. As long as we're gardening, that's all that matters. I do all of it. I winter sow, I direct sow, I grow under grow lights, I buy starts, just all of it. Any way that can give me plants, I'm doing it. I have some zinnias in here, direct sow, and some sunflowers in the back there. I'd love to see this filled with sunflowers and zinnias, and even some Queen Anne's lace. And I know it spreads like crazy. Love Queen Anne's lace, so I don't mind if it does. And in the back, my dahlia pots are starting to sprout that I showed you in another video. These are some poppies and cosmos, and I hope that they don't die in the heat. But you can see my dahlias are starting to pop. This is an allium, Millennium allium, and that will come into bloom probably in a month or so. And some more poppies. These look wonderful. Raspberry ripple. Ooh, that's a big mosquito. Oh my goodness gracious. No, we don't like him. Potatoes. These are red bliss potatoes. They are not ready for harvest yet. You'll know when potatoes are ready for harvest because they'll start to bloom and they'll really flop and fall over. And then you can kind of feel around in there and see if things feel like they're ready. I've got garlic in here that I planted in the fall. Two types. This is Music and then Mateki on the other bed there. I did just put my trellis together here that I had up last year. So I love the look of that. I'll put some climbing beans and things up there. And then my wisteria. This is the first year I really have a really beautiful show from the Blue Moon wisteria. This is native, non-invasive here in zone 7A. Of course, all wisteria does need to be pruned on, but it will not go off the rails like some of the Chinese wisteria does. It just does not. Not for me, but be careful, use caution. And it's just looking so gorgeous right now. And then on the arbor here, I have beautiful Zephyrin Drowan Rose. These are thornless. They will tolerate some shade. They are repeat blooming. They have a wonderful scent, and I absolutely love them. It just smells so wonderful to walk under this arbor with all these blooms here. Very, very happy with this. Got my hellebores here that are definitely starting to fizzle out, but look at some of this new foliage that is coming on here. Is just stunning. Absolutely beautiful. Love the hellebores. I had clematis on here, Guernsey cream, that was beautiful in bloom, and now it's fading. But I don't know if you guys caught the live chat that I did with Klaus Dalby. Oh my gosh, that was such a wonderful moment for me. I was so excited to do that chat, but he said, you know, try deadheading. So the little seed heads here come along on the clematis and deadhead these, and he said that they should repeat bloom. So I would love to make that happen. And here you can see I have all sorts of mats and things, and that's because dun, 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 we have a groundhog visitor again. what can I say? He just likes it here, but I'm not having my yard be a buffet. No way. Mark ran out and he got a have a heart catch and release trap. So hopefully, you know, I've got some cantaloupe in there. Hopefully we can lure him out. And that is one of the reasons why we'll be taking this shed down within a matter of a couple of weeks, because the greenhouse is coming in July. We have to have a concrete pad poured. I wasn't going to do a concrete pad, but I am now, because the last thing in the world that I want is to, well, first of all, it's going to make the structure super solid, and that's what I want. And I'm probably going to stencil the floor or do something really cool. My friend Katie at the Manor, she actually has a beautiful greenhouse that she did stenciling on her concrete floor, and it looks marvelous. She has a YouTube. You should check her out. Love Katie. But the last thing in the world that I want is to open up the greenhouse and see a groundhog in there. So concrete floor makes me feel better. There's a concrete floor inside the garage / shed now, and that's been there for years, and it makes me feel better. When I moved in, it was a dirt floor, and it was just really dank and musty too. So we had concrete poured, and I love it. So you can see my dahlia are all coming up here. I have cloches and things all around because, as I said, bunnies, groundhogs, you name it, but they're all popping out now and looking great. I did plant some salvia. That's an Nicotiana. I had a couple of others that didn't make it, but that one did, and I know they get massive, so I may have to move that. And my lavender, so I kind of filled in the gaps where some of my lavender has died. It's not the best space for lavender. Lavender likes dry, poor soil, and here it's getting good soil for the dahlia and drip line. So it wasn't that way when I first planted up this bed. It was dry and it was super sunny, and now it's just not. Things evolve and change in the garden, and you just have to kind of go with the flow and change as it changes. My lilac just came out of bloom. It's looking crispy right now. I'll come along and I will clip off these spent blooms. This is the bloomerang, and it does a repeat bloom. But I've got this cat scat mat everywhere. I got that on Amazon. And I did do a swap out on this container and the window box. I really wanted geraniums. I love geraniums, and the dahlia that I bought, because they just caught my eye in the store and I couldn't resist. They just did not look right in here. They were too short. They were struggling, too much deadheading. And I know you have to deadhead geraniums, but I like to do that. It's therapeutic to me to hear that snap. I like it. I don't mind it at all. So the dahlias have been rehomed. This is looking beautiful. Love geraniums. They are one of my favorite plants.